Whew, it's been a while since I've done this. Nintendo dropped a new trailer today for The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. I'm sure this is coming out at least a couple of days after the trailer dropped, but, you know, I'm still going to talk about it, because it's been about 4 years since I did a trailer discussion video, and also, I didn't start this channel in time to discuss this game after the Nintendo Direct, so I'm gonna take that opportunity now. The opportunity has been placed in front of myself upon a platter of gold. Of course, I shall take that opportunity. So, the trailer is called Traversing Hyrule. And, you know, the Nintendo have released some key art that is like, you're on a horse. So it kind of led me to believe that this trailer was literally just going to be about how you get around Hyrule, you know? And, you know, there was a big focus on that in the trailer. There was a lot of, like, they were talking about fast travel points, which, if my most recent playthroughs of Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom are any indication, I will not use. They were talking about horses and the ways in which you can use them to get around. But this kind of acted more as like a meaty overview trailer. And obviously it's not time it's not time for an overview trailer just yet. Nintendo tends to do that like a week or so before a game launches, and we're still about a month out at this point. But even still, this is like a 6-minute long trailer. That is meaty. And I just love absolutely everything that they showed off here. So just so we're all kind of on the same page, I'm still not super familiar with Zelda, right? Like, I played Breath of the Wild, I played Tears of the Kingdom, I played the Link's Awakening remake, I played Ocarina of Time, and I'm like 3/4, or maybe actually closer to just a halfway through a Majora's Mask playthrough. Outside of the Link's Awakening remake, I have literally no experience with 2D Zelda. I played like half an hour, 40 minutes of Link Between Worlds. No, both actually, Link Between Worlds and Link to the Past for gameplay purposes. But I haven't actually played the entirety of those games. So, a lot of the stuff that I talk about and like, hey, that's cool, this might just be like standard for 2D Zelda. I have no idea. But anyway, that's enough. We got to have a look at a lot of the returning races and a lot of the different locales throughout the game, which is really exciting. You know, we get to see that the Gerudo are back, 2 different variants of Zora. I didn't know there was multiple versions of Zoras. I thought they were just Zoras, but there's like Ocean Zoras and River Zoras, which is really cool. Obviously we get the... oh my god, what were they called? The Mountain People? Oh my god, what were they called? Fuck. They lived on Death Mountain, and there's like the Death Mountain volcano here in this game. Oh my god, what were they called? Well, that's embarrassing. They weren't Gerudo, were they? Gerudo were the desert people. These guys were... No, it's entirely gone. I'm sure I'll remember at some point, and if I don't, it will haunt me for the rest of my life. But they're back. And yeah, there's also like the Deku scrubs from Majora's Mask, which I'm very happy about because I'm currently playing and loving that game. And we got to see like some different villages and different towns and stuff like that. It looks like the map is like surprisingly big and like quite meaty, because I feel like I saw people online when the game was revealed talking about how like the map what they showed off of the map kind of looked a bit too much like Link to the Past or Link's Awakening, whichever one it was. But at least from my perspective, this looks very, very vast and very, very... Goron! They're called Gorons! Oh my god! Gorons. That is the race of mountain people in Zelda. It is them. Holy shit. Sorry about that. But yeah, the map looks really interesting and really vast, especially for a 2D game. And I'm really looking forward to exploring it, you know? The design that we've seen so far looks really, really cool. And I think it'll house a lot of interesting stuff. Now, another thing that this trailer showed off was abilities, akin to the runes and the hand abilities in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, respectively. Zelda also has some abilities with the little fairy dude. I think he was called Tri. Yeah, he grants Zelda some new abilities that are, I would argue, fairly akin to Breath of the Wild / Tears of the Kingdom abilities. I think the main one was Bond, where you can... So that, like, the example he gives in the trailer is, like, there's a big boulder that's, like, too big to make an echo of or to use other echoes against. And so you can bond that to Zelda, and it goes wherever she goes. So you can just move to where you're, like, parallel to a big hole, and then you can just drop it in the hole. So that's very cool, and it reminds me a lot of, like, the Ultra Hand grabby ability in Tears of the Kingdom. Obviously a lot more limited than that, but, like, it kind of has to be in a 2D space. And I think it's a really creative workaround for that, you know? I think if you were given too much power with it in this particular space, I don't know if it would work super well, but with the way that this is being limited, like its power is kind of being capped, I think it is going to work really well. I hope that I'm right, but like it seems like it's going to work real well, so that's really cool. And then you can also do that with like enemies, and with echoes that you've made. So let's say you, like, I don't know, you get an echo of an enemy that moves about real fast, like the one from the first trailer, then you can kind of just, like, attach yourself to that. And then there was also, I think it was called, like, reverse bind, where instead of it moving where you move where it moves. So I think another example it gave was, like, there was a bird that was just flying around near a cliffside, and then Zelda reverse binded with them, and then Zelda was flying around just the exact same way that they were. And I think that's also really, really cool. These are, like, really creative ways to expand upon the kind of 2D systems that have been in play. Again, not super well versed, but from what I understand, Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom are, like, leagues and leagues and leagues higher than the 2D games in terms of the openness and the power that's being given to the player. And I think it's really interesting to see those things kind of be implemented in this more limited space. You know, like, I'm obviously I'm not saying that the 2D games are lesser in any way, but just by their nature of being 2D worlds and, like, having the limitations that they do, they're naturally a lot less open and free compared to, again, the likes of the open world games. And I think trying to bridge that gap is something that I'm really excited to see them explore. Because, you know, there is obviously merit to just, like, standard 2D Zelda, top-down Zelda. The linearity, for a lot of people, that's what they're that's what the open world games are missing. You know, that tight, rigid, linear structure. It opened the door for a lot of really, really well-designed sequences. And I know that a lot of people kind of miss that from the open world games. But I personally think that trying to find a middle ground between those two is a really compelling way to take the series. So to see that they're doing that here is really, really cool. And, you know, I think the whole Echo system in and of itself is kind of the biggest the biggest indicator right off the bat that they were trying to lean into that. And then these other abilities like Bind, that's just even more confirmation, you know? So yeah, I'm really, really looking forward to this game. Like I say, I didn't have a chance to discuss it after the Direct, but like having a Zelda game, like a Zelda, you play as the Zelda, you know the lady who is called Zelda, and it's the Legend of Zelda, but you never play as Zelda, you always play as Link. Well, now you get to play as Zelda, and that's fucking cool. I think a lot of people, myself included, were probably, because there was hints of this. There was lots and lots of rumors and leaks going around online, like weeks, maybe even months before the June Direct, that a Zelda game was coming. And I think, I'm not going to speak for anyone else actually, but me personally, just because I'm more well-versed in the open world 3D Zeldas, I was kind of expecting and or hoping that it would be like Breath of the Wild Zelda, because I really connected with that character. But I think taking the series back to its 2D roots, letting you play as Zelda, and then trying to bridge the gap between linear top-down Zelda and the open world games, that is a recipe for success, I think. I think this game is going to be... it's going to be a monumentous occasion in the Zelda series, I think. If they're able to pull it off right, and they are able to successfully find a middle ground between those two styles of games, I think this is going to be a legendary game. Not to, like, you know, use the fucking obvious joke. It's the Legend of Zelda, of course it's going to be legendary. But, like, I think this is going to be a really monumentous title. A monumental title in this series. So, I really hope that they pull it off. And this trailer that they've released today is giving me a lot of faith that this game is living up to the potential that I think a lot of us see in it. So, yeah, I'm excited to play this game. I have this bad habit where I will be in the middle of playing a game, and then a new game will release, and then I'll put down the game I was already playing to start playing the original, to start playing the new game, and then I never go back to the other game. So I think my plan for this game is I'm gonna make two like non-main channel videos. This is kind of a plan that hear me out. This is a plan that I have going forward with new game releases that I'm really interested in. I will, on launch day, I will record 2 videos. I will record my initial impressions, like my initial reactions to the game, and I'll put that up on Rock's Rec Room, and then I'll record a off-the-cuff, but kind of more detailed discussion of my thoughts so far, and I will put it up on Rock Talk. So that is my plan with I nearly said Tears of the Kingdom, Echoes of Wisdom, but I probably won't play the full game until I've finished whichever game I'm currently making my way through, because I need to be better about my backlog, okay? It's getting out of hand. I still haven't finished Thousand Year Door, and it's been out for 4 months. Anyway, that's a complete nut tangent. That's about all I have to say about this trailer, but I am really interested to see what all of you think. Do you think that this trailer makes the game look really, really good is a lot of this stuff kind of just standard for 2D Zelda, and I'm just not aware of it. Do you think the game looks like shit? I know at least visually a lot of people might have that opinion because it's using the Link's Awakening remake art style, and not everyone was a fan of that, myself included, but we'll talk about that another day, I'm sure. But yeah, let me know what you think of this trailer, and are you excited for the first 2D Zelda game, original 2D Zelda game, in like over a decade? I feel like there's an obvious answer to that, right? Like, you're excited. Unless you hate Zelda passionately, you're probably excited about this. So, go be excited in the comments, and I will go be excited, not anywhere but here.